To create alignment in your life means starting with you, who you are and what you stand for. Then making choices that fall into line with that. An aligned business, therefore, is a business that falls into line with who you are. The question is, where do you start? What are the main steps to actually create an aligned business? An aligned business is a business that is totally in line with who you are and what you stand for. The problem with many businesses is that people jump straight into the systems and the strategies and the tactics, focused on the outcome of making sales and making money. There's little or no consideration of whether these systems and strategies and tactics are right for the individual or for the business and the organization involved. In the world we live in, there are so many promises of seven-figure businesses and instant profit and get-rich-quick schemes with the click of a button. It can be a challenge not to want to jump straight into these opportunities. But this is how a misaligned business is created. The systems and strategies and the tactics become a means to an end, a way of making the money. So the focus moves to the quickest, fastest way to make the money rather than the best, most enjoyable way to spend your time, to create and express yourself. The thinking is, when I make the money, well, then I can have what I want and do what I want then. When I make the money, well, then I can choose the business and create the business that I really want. So the actual point of enjoying yourself and doing what you really truly want and having what you really truly desire is put out into the future out there, to a time after the money is made, to a later date. Money comes before fun. So for many people, the process of making money seems to come before the possibility of being able to enjoy yourself. For many people, the process of making money is often separate and different to the process of enjoying oneself. This is very much what our culture has led us to believe is the way to live. We're told from a very early age that the way to be successful is first to go to school so that you can then get into university, so that you can then get a job, so you can work really hard, so you can buy a house and maybe save some money, so that when you retire, then you can enjoy your life. So in other words, we're saying spend the first 60 or 70 years of your life chasing money and focused on money so that finally, right at the end, you can have some fun just before you die. So nowhere in this are you taught to question who you are, what you actually stand for, and what you love and what you really want to do. It may sound harsh, but for many people this is truth. The model of life we're given and the beliefs we're taught have very little focus on enjoyment and fun. It's always kind of out there, out in front of you at the end of your life, after you've made the money. But what if you chose to have the fun now? What if you had your fun now? What if you kind of flipped this approach around the other way? And instead of focusing just on making money and security and safety for your future out there, which is important, but not necessarily everything, what if instead of focusing on the next business strategy or system or tactic or magic get-rich-quick pill, what if you started with the things that you actually enjoy and inspire you? So what if you started with them? What if instead of working for 40 years so that you can do the things you want to do in retirement, you choose to have some fun and do those things now? So that's the first step to living in alignment, and from this, creating a business that aligns with who you are and what you stand for. The first step to create an aligned business, therefore, is to know who you are. The problem with this is that for most people in the Western world, they have no idea who they are. From an early age, you're bombarded with thoughts and ideas and beliefs about who you should be. From family, friends, teachers, school, government, authority, the workplace, you're constantly told how you should act, how you should behave, what you should think, what you should say, what you should do, even what you should like. So as a small child, you're reprimanded when you say or do something that someone else in one of these authority positions does not like. very slowly over time, the spark, that essence of the real you that we see in the energy and excitement of very small children, it's very quickly kind of smothered and put out and put down within the early years of your life. Then by the time you go to school, you're being trained to wear a uniform, fall in line, speak when spoken to, recite back what you're told to learn and recite back. By the time you finish high school, you've been kind of trained not to think independently, but to instead remember and regurgitate information that has no relevance for the real world, but will get you through the next test. Basically, in this model of the world that we live in, you're trained to be everything but the real you. The key to alignment then is to reconnect with who you really are, to reconnect with that pure essence that came into the world and expressed itself as that little child that you were, that you still are. It's about uncovering the real you that's already there inside, but it means asking the big questions about life. So who are you? Why are we here? What is the meaning of all this? Uncovering the real you means being prepared to peel back the layers that have built up over time and expose the you that has always been there, but just got covered up along the way with a ton of thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that never really belong to you anyway. So uncovering the real you means letting go of everything that you've been told is truth in order to uncover what is real truth. So how then do you create an aligned business? What's it all got to do with business? Well, the key to creating an aligned business is not about learning a ton of business systems and strategies and tactics, although they're important down the track. It's not about signing up for another program or mentor or coach. There are 3 clear phases of creating an aligned business, and it doesn't start with another business strategy. They might come in later down the track. What it does start with, however, is you. So phase 1 is about designing it. It's designing the life you want. In order to do that, you have to first understand who you really are. So unless you connect to the real, true you, anything you choose to create is kind of clouded or covered in by the thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and ideals of everyone and everything who has ever influenced you and what you think you should want. It's what people have told you should believe or you should want. That's why so many people chase the money and the houses and the cars and the stuff, thinking that when they get them, they'll be happy. And when they finally do, for some reason, they're not. It's because it's not what they really want. It's not what the real you really wants. So in order to know what you really, truly desire, you have to clear back all that stuff that's layered up that you've been taught to think and connect with the real you. When you do finally connect with the real you, then you can understand the vision that you really want and desire to create and start to align and fall in line and integrate and harmonize with that. Phase 2 of creating an aligned business starts to bring in the business strategies. So once you know who you are, really who you are, not who you think you are, once you know what you stand for and what you want to create, you now have some parameters and kind of guidelines to work within. You can now start to choose the business structure and strategies that are going to work for you and that feel good for you, that align with who you really are and what you desire. Without knowing those things first, you're totally flying blind. You're guessing, which is why so many business strategies do not work for so many people, because so many people have no idea of who they really are and spend their life guessing and kind of flailing around, randomly trying things out and hoping that something sticks. Instead, you can do it in a more strategic, aligned way. Phase 3 then, once you know what your business looks like and how you're going to create it, is to just do it. So when you know who you are and what you want and have some idea of what this looks for you in the form of a business, you just do it. When you know who you really are and what your business looks like, you can start to make choices strategically that just make sense and feel good and feel right. You'll save a whole lot of time and effort and money and heartache in the process. This is action with purpose. And action with a purpose and with meaning is going to work so much better for you than random hit and miss, see what sticks action. Action that is aligned with who you really are will take you into a space of flow and creativity and ease. The process of creating a business through knowing who you are and doing the thing that you truly enjoy and that works for you is so much easier than trying to chase the money first. So you've got to find you first. If you're at a stage where you want to make a change in your life, where you want more money, a business of your own, a different career, better relationships, whatever it is, the key is to take the time to get to know the real you first. Then you're creating that business, money, relationship, whatever, from a space and a focus of being aligned with you. Anything else may get you there eventually, but it's going to be a much longer, harder journey. So you can take that long, hard, convoluted route all over the place that randomly will get you there, or you can choose to connect with you, discover who you are, what you want, what you desire, and what you stand for, and then just run it that way. It's totally your choice. I'll leave it with you.